Shalom and welcome back. Now we're going to do lesson number 18. This one's a little more tricky, but because we have the issue of God's name being used, and so therefore I'm going to teach some of the things that we do here. First off, we're going to see that the two yuds are going to express the yud he vav he, and the word Elohim is replaced with Elokeinu or Elokim, as we would use. This makes it so that the actual word is not used. It's not God's name, so therefore you're not erasing God's name, because the Elokeinu doesn't mean Elohim because it's not correctly spelled. And this is what we do when we're trying to utilize something, so we can still use the concept and use the things we find in Scripture, but we're not actually erasing God's name. And this is very important to understand. So this lesson deals with the issue of the Shema. And we're going to talk about the issue of Shema as we go to learn it. So what does it say? Shema. Hear, Israel, Israel, Adonai, the Lord, Elokeinu, or Eloheinu, is our God. Adonai, the Lord, Echad, is one. So now let's go down to break down the grammar of what we're seeing here. So here, the very first thing we find here is we find this is the this is the command. This is the command form that's being used. So Shema is demanding that a group listen. Okay, it's what you would say when you're trying to tell people to hear what's being said, and that they would adhere to what's being said here. So Shema doesn't literally mean to listen in this concept. It literally means in this concept to understand. Shema in Hebrew is a very special word because it has within it the connotation of not just hearing, but understanding, perceiving, getting the understanding of what's being said. So Shema, as we would say when you say Shema to hear, it means hearing with regard to understanding. So hearing with regard to understanding. So you have to understand the fact that when you say hear Israel, it's not referring to just the mere concept of saying to listen, okay? It's regarding to the fact it wants us to understand that we need to learn and understand something here. And what is he saying? Israel. So you have the verb of listening, and then you have the object. And this is what we find being used here. So the object here is Israel. So the person, which here is Moshe, he's saying, Shema Israel, listen Israel. Okay? Yud Yud, which is the Lord, Adonai, Eloheinu, here is Elokeinu I wrote. So what is this? This is the noun Elohim with a noun that is the object. Okay? Yeah, sorry, this is the going to be the possessive pronoun, excuse me. So here we have the possessive pronoun, which is the word our. So Elokeinu would literally be with the mem and the yud at the end, like we see when we see im. Okay? So Elokim, whereas the word in the Hebrew would be Elohim, okay? So we see the yud and the mem is the plural form. When we put it into the possessive pronoun state, we're going to cut off the mem and leave the yud and add etzerei, which is located here. This is why we see the tzerei here. Nu, so our God, okay? Adonai Echad. Echad is the word for one. Now, why is the Shema such a vitally important thing to understand in its context? Well, let's look at the fact that how many Orthodox tend to try to prescribe the issue when they read it. They try to say this: Shema Israel, hear O Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And so the emphasis is that the Lord is Echad. But we have to see something really interesting with regard to what this Shema is saying, okay? And the Shema is actually telling us it's telling us a very important thing, okay? Shema, hear O Israel, Adonai Eloheinu. This would seem very logical if this would have been written, Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu Echad. Hear O Israel, the Lord our God is one. But why is it that the Torah doesn't say is one, but rather it goes to say Adonai Echad? So it's dividing up, literally what we see in the sentence here is God is telling us that we are to divide the sentence into basically two parts. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, stop, Adonai Echad. And the question goes is, why does the God want us to see this statement? What is the importance of why he wants us to read it, where we read it that the Lord our God is one statement, the Lord is one is the second statement. Orthodoxy wants to read it where the break is here. The Torah wants to read it where the break is here, and that the emphasis ends here. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Orthodoxy wants to say Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And I'll leave it up to you to think about this and to ponder what I'm pointing at here, because it's a very special thing that helps us see something far greater and to understand what it is the Torah is hinting at. So we're done with lesson number 18. I'll see you next time as we go to lesson number 19.